Steve Main, here with Jesse Townsend. Jesse Townsend is a personal trainer at Parkway Athletic Club in Reno, Nevada. And if you want to check out more about me and our clubs, our health clubs, you can go to stevemain.com, find out about those. Thanks for being with us, Jesse.
Yeah, Steve, thanks for having me.
So we're going to talk about something that's been controversial in the past, fats. One of the best things we can put in our body are healthy fats. But there's a lot of misconception out there about what is a healthy fat and what isn't a healthy fat. So for instance, I'm almost always in at least moderate ketosis, meaning my body's burning fat. Part of the reason is because I'm eating healthy fats. So, for instance, saturated fat is a healthy fat. Yes, you should eat it. It will bring your HDL, your good cholesterol, up, and it will lower your triglycerides. It's a healthy fat. Fats that you want to stay away from, vegetable oils, all the things that are said to be good, canola oil, seed oil, vegetable oil, all those things are horrible. Why? Too much omega-6, linoleic acid. And I believe, look, I ate tons of sugar when I was a kid. Now it's the combination of unhealthy fats, linoleic acid, omega-6s, and the sugar combined, because most people eat the same way as they did 20 years ago. But why are they 30 or 40 or 50 pounds heavier now? It's the food, and it is some bad fats that people are eating. So when you eat healthy fats, your body loves those. What are the healthy fats? Olive oil, MCT oil, coconut oil, butter. Eat butter. Butter is good for you, and the fat balance is beautiful in a good organic butter. Lard, eat it. Tallow, yes, I'm saying to eat these things. So, our educations go way back. We weren't taught this in school. At least I wasn't. How about you?
No, pretty much. I mean, so a lot of this comes from, obviously like most things that we get, throughout the world is, we learn through going through different processes and different ages. And so in the 70s, at that time, this is when kind of this whole thing kicked off as far as research, so to speak, into fats and different, dietary needs as far as body's response and, what happens with people. And, and in the 70s, there was an uptick in heart disease and stroke and things of that nature. And so they kind of, as they did research, early on and didn't know a whole bunch yet, kind of how research usually works, not big enough sample size that early. So 80s and 90s that followed, a lot of what they were saying was, fats should be out of household, fat-free diet was one of the first things that was really talked about in a sense of, trying to lower this risk for heart disease and stroke that had come up so much. So yeah, like you're saying, in all that, what ended up really happening was, they didn't talk too much about, the differences of fats, like you're saying, what are good fats, what are bad fats. And now, we know a little bit more and we have more research and we have ideas that tell us that there are fats that are healthy for us. And some of the ones that you named, are some to mention, in that your diet should consist on daily basis. I 100% agree. And I mean, I've seen many different cases, and I have clients that would surely, say the same stuff. And as far as what they've gotten from diets where they had, no fat or close to no fat in them, compared to, let's just say, changing that and putting good fats into their diet and putting it in a way that it's consistent, and they have it as a macronutrient, source that they do. Just like protein and carbs are tracked so heavy with most people that want to diet, fat is the one that's usually, for most people, like we're saying, kind of left out. Again, sometimes the calories is what is looked at. Surely, they have fats on average about 9 calories, per gram is where it's at. So that compared to some of the other macros where you're at just about 4 approximately for carbs and proteins. Sometimes in diets, people are real heavy on, the calories in, calories out thing, which I agree with in some respect. But again, without fats, like you're saying, you're not giving your body ample opportunity, and you're not putting it into position daily where it's going to want to burn and get rid of, fats that you carry. It's not going to go into ketosis as well, and it won't be as consistent with your body burning through fats that you have stored and fats that you have inside of your body already. So yeah, really important, definitely, to stay with them. For people that don't know the categories, right, of fats, you talked a little bit about some omegas, omega-3, omega-6s. Most people are familiar with these as supplements or different fat options. So you pretty much have, different categories. Again, when it breaks into unsaturated fats, you have mono and you have poly. So monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats. So basically, like the monounsaturated, olive oil is a good example of one that most people would know for mono. And then for poly, different ones, sunflower oil is an example. And that's one that definitely can be used to cook with, a little bit different in a cooking process. So yeah, those are considered the good fats. If they consume, again, correctly in a diet, they can help also improve cholesterol, support heart health. So all the things that, we're looking to do with diet as far as health goes, fats are major link. And then you get into too, on other levels, what it does for, the hormones, right, in a body, how fats can definitely help, men in particular, but women at different, in different ways too. But for men, fats are also in some ways, good for hormone regulation. And so, testosterone and raising of, and, producing some of these hormones that we might have, slow down for us over time. Again, fats can help improve in these areas, and which is again, it's all part of being the healthiest us that we can be. So yeah, if you're missing fats in a diet, start doing it. Definitely listen to what Steve was saying. Don't be afraid to put them in the diet. Don't be afraid of the butters and some of the things like were mentioned already. Surely going to help. And if you give it a shot, and of course try it long enough, is always my opinion on anything that you do with health. Make sure sample size of what you do with it is at least a month-long process. You will see for sure the differences from what you do with it.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to feel better. And if you're eating animal products, it's important to eat healthy animal products. For instance, eggs get a bad rap. It has all 3 of the fats in it. It has saturated fat, monounsaturated fat, and polyunsaturated fat, almost an equal portion of all 3. But you have to eat quality. I'm sorry, I know it's expensive. Pasture raised, organic. Because if you're not getting quality animal products, I eat animal products. So, but they have to be high quality, grass fed, grass finished, organic beef. Because if you don't, the polyunsaturated fats is where the omega-3 is and the omega-6 is. But the problem with the American diet these days is the omega-6s are way too high, out of proportion with the omega-3. If you're eating beef, it has to be healthy, well-raised beef. Same with the eggs. Eat the yolk. Please eat the yolk. That's where all the good stuff is. That's where all the good protein is, all the good fats, all the fat-soluble vitamins. It's all in the yolk. If you're going to throw something away, throw the whites away. Okay? Eat the yolk. And it's loaded with the fat-soluble vitamins, perfect proportions of fat, but you have to eat a healthy egg. You can't just go grabbing stuff at the local grocery store right off the shelf and not paying attention to how the animal is raised. And believe it or not, I'm not a tree hugger, but how the animal is treated matters. It matters. And that may sound silly to some people, but the way an animal is treated affects everything. Stress is bad. You don't want to be stressing out these animals. So I know I'm getting kind of on a rabbit trail, but that all has to do with healthy fats, the way the animal is raised and the way it is treated. So that's really important. Now, the other little hack that I do that I would recommend, I take some omega-3s, which is a fish oil, every time I eat, because I want to bring the omega-3s up. That's a big problem with the American diet. The omega-3s are too low in proportion to the omega-6s. So I'm going to take, I take 6 to 8 of those gel caps every time I eat to bring the omega-3 ratio up. And that makes a big difference. So, and then you're going to find that you're burning fat. Your body's going to go, hey, I like this. And your body's going to start to use fat as a fuel, and your brain loves it, especially MCT oil. Any last thoughts, Jesse?
No, I think that all really good information, of course, and like you were saying, you went in different directions, but that's a good example of the way it is, right? With when it comes to doing research and trying to find information on things like this, you can take, and I teach people this all the time when I educate them on diet processes. You can take things to different levels, of course, all different life, facets kind of offer this option. And what I mean by that is, how much do you want to know about it? How much do you need to know about it? Bottom line with the fat stuff is may not need to have all the information, regarding some of the stuff that you're talking about with, animals and how they're kept, which definitely makes difference, especially as you mentioned, the stress related to just how that works inside their body. Like anything else, chemically speaking, stress does not help us, produce any good chemicals, right? So that does saturate the meats, and that does make difference in how these animals and their tissues, are kept within their bodies. And,
Exactly.
all those processes matter. But again, for normal everyday people that are just trying to be healthier, bottom line, like we were talking about, have your omegas, supplement if needed, right? And that's what supplementation means, thus the name of it, right? So if you're not getting it in your diet, supplement it with, what you need to with good solid supplements. Of course, there's different veins of that too, meaning higher level supplements. Some of the stuff that I recommend to people as far as supplements go, if you can get them that are FDA regulated, and if they're at least GMP, so good manufacturing practices, are stamped on there too, you're probably going to get usually a better or higher level supplement. Nowadays, there's so many good ones out there. They're having to compete at pretty high level. So doesn't matter, to the highest degree. But again, different information is good for however high people want to take what they're doing. So, or what level they want to go to. But yeah, definitely get fats in your diet. That's what we're trying to express. Don't skip them. You'll love the differences it makes. Again, this is what we're doing, is everybody's trying to be as healthy as we can be. And this is one of those things you don't want to skip.
Yeah. Great input, Jesse. And, do your own research. We're not doctors, but we've been doing this a long time, and things have changed. always changing. I've changed my mind on a lot of things. I was taught in school, don't eat more than 10% fat. Well, that's not even possible. Because again, the calories are 9.2 calories per gram. I mean, you got to eat, half as much, protein and carbs you're still not up to 1 gram of fat. So thanks for your input, Jesse. Jesse's at Parkway Athletic Club in Reno, Nevada. Go down there and say hi. Got a lot of great programs there at that club. It's a beautiful club. So thanks for being with us, Jesse.
Yeah, thanks, Steve.